Is panic disorder and agoraphobia genetic? Yes and no. Here's the breakdown of it. Yes, in the sense that anxiety is a genetic thing. Anxiety, or in other words, it's like a personality trait. Our propensity to identify threats in our environments and respond more strongly to them, that's a genetic thing. But guess what? It's not a bad thing. I'll give you an example of that. For example, there was a study on monkeys. They went to the jungle, they identified some monkeys, and then they identified the anxious monkeys, and then they plucked those monkeys out of that herd or troop, I think they call it, refer to them as troops, I think. And guess what happened? That entire troop vanished. Why? Because anxious individuals serve as early warning alarms, early warning systems. Sure, we get a lot of false positives, but when it comes to life or death, that doesn't matter. Like it's better to get a false positive than a false negative, right? So these are the people who built castles. Anxious people built castles. Then they built moats around the castles, right? Because that wasn't good enough. So this is a good thing. It's a good trait for everybody around us and ourselves as well. As a matter of fact, there's also studies showing that anxious people tend to live longer because we are risk averse, you know? But does that mean, is there some sort of a genetic thing that gives you a panic attack? No. Is there a genetic thing that gives you agoraphobia? No. Panic disorder and agoraphobia, they're more like computer viruses. They're conceptual things. They're things we learned, picked up in our life, through our life experience, and we're kind of stuck with it because it's self-reinforcing. The panic cycle is self-reinforcing. Can we get rid of it? Absolutely. The same way you can finally identify the virus and delete the virus from the computer, you can do the same thing with panic disorder and agoraphobia. In my practice, I specialize, by the way, in the treatment of panic disorder and agoraphobia. And in my practice, what we use is a combination of, this is a very short version of what we use. There's other interventions we use as well, but the bulk of it is a combination of ACT and exposure therapy. So it's acceptance and commitment therapy with exposure therapy. If you're interested in more information, feel free to check out the rest of the YouTube channel. I also have a newsletter. You can sign up for that. And of course, if you want a free consultation, I do free 15-minute consultations to chat about your problem. Go ahead and go on my website and book it. And I'll see you in the next video.